Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Group. We've got ourselves, well, like I said, a fairly decently sized haul. We covered this week's X-Men books as well as a couple others. Now, some move on to this week's Spider-Man books. Kicking things off with, we've got Miles Morales' Spider-Man number 7, continuing Carnage reigns. Back in the penultimate chapter, no less. So, where we left off, the Stark Sentinels proved to be as ineffective as, well, one would expect. I know, I'm just shocked at this. Sentinels being ineffective? Whoever would have guessed such a thing? Also, Tony Stark took notice of what's going on and decided he's going to get out there and do something about it. And the 3 Iron Man suits arrived at locations in New York, controlled by Carnage with the purpose of recruiting some of his fans to help. We begin with those 3 fans. They actually opt to get in their armors. Well, it's made clear that yes, the armors are completely controlled by Carnage, and well, also Red Goblin was unable to stop Carnage, but basically bit by being overwhelmed. So Electro gets she can to rescue Taskmaster, and Miles actually powers her up in the hopes that perhaps she can basically recreate the explosion from that Miles caused by sending a Venom blast into Carnage's arc reactor. Doesn't work though. Hightail and Miles then work together to rescue civilians from a building that's been damaged, with Spider-Man grabbing injured civilians and throwing them out for at least getting them out into webbing, so that Hightail can then get him to a hospital. Scorpion once again takes on Carnage and doesn't go that too well. Agent Gao is informed of the 3 inbound Stark signals. And Iron Man shows up, having made some modifications to his own armor. And manages to do some damage to Carnage, at least get him to go off to look his wounds, but however, a bit of Carnage has managed to get into. Miles got stabbed and by Carnage, and so Iron Man does what he can to help Miles, giving him a new suit, looking fairly similar to his Uncle Aaron's Iron Spider suit. And that is where the issue ends. To be continued in Carnage Reigns Omega. This crossover has been getting pretty good. I get the feeling that the Omega issue is likely to be more of a lead-in to Summer of the Symbiotes, but we'll see. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Cult of Carnage Misery, number 2. Where we left off, Liz Allen had got herself a symbiote. The combination of Carnage and Anti-Venom. We open with a flashback to back when Liz was pregnant with Normie, and talking with Harry. Harry basically saying, you know, if was apparently afraid of slipping back into becoming Green Goblin, as Harry Osborn had a stint of being the Green Goblin. But Liz's first test with the symbiote, she's attacked by a chimpanzee with a similar symbiote, and ripped in half, in fact. She puts herself back together rather quickly, but gets into a fight with the chimpanzee, and the fight is stopped by Normandy's half-brother Stanley showing up. However, Stanley didn't see that his stepmom is, in fact, was the creature he saw. But Alchemax is doing what they can to find the thief of their symbiote samples. They know who it is. Now it's just a case of finding where they are. Let's see, listed name. Corwin Jones. Liz turns over whatever stones she can to find Jones, though his employer, Carlton Drake of the Life Foundation, has gone in touch with him. He's got the Life Foundation symbiotes back, and intends to use them to power Jones's old guardsman suit. Liz has another date with her boyfriend from her ex from the hospital, asking if she misses the hospital work. But they kiss briefly, but she realizes she's going. But she kind of steps away. While she's not in the right place for that, and well, guy basically says that Liz is always trying to fix everyone, and well, he doesn't need fixing, so he'll always be low on her list. Liz goes after Corwin Jones. Realizes that he's dying, but well, he's got the new armor, so unleashes the combination known as madness and attacks Liz, who misery's up, and that is where the issue ends. It's an interesting miniseries so far. I'm liking Liz with a symbiote, though it's interesting to me how many members of the Osborn family are getting symbiotes. Looking forward to seeing how Liz plays into the upcoming symbiote stories, if she does at all. Moving on, though, to our next story, we've got Hallows Eve number 4. Where we left off, Janine and Marcus had broken into Beyond headquarters with the intention of rescuing Simon, the security guard that she had bitten and turned into a werewolf. However, Maxine showed up, and with Marcus as her prisoner, and also explains that her bag of masks is technically speaking beyond property, since her and Ben utilized Project Purgatory to get to Limbo, so fruit of the poison tree. Marcus, Simon, and Janine escape, only in part due to Janine utilizing the witch mask, and later the vampire mask. Once they get outside, however, Simon changes. Causing Janine to drop a bag off of the top of a bus. And so, well, Marcus has to grab it. And the detective that has been working the case, well, she's in full. With giving Chief the information that Janine's given her about Beyond, is turned down for a warrant. Also, he informs her that there's no Officer Riley at the 96th precinct, not even an O'Reilly. However, a call comes in of a disturbance that a vampire fighting a werewolf outside of Beyond headquarters, and it's not Comic-Con. Dispatch checked. But while Janine and Simon are fighting, Marcus has an idea and throws the werewolf mask to Janine. She puts it on Simon, pulls it off, and curses he's no longer a werewolf. But Maxine and her goons are outside, and Marcus jury rigs one of her bombs, making a small seismic charge. Janine gets Marcus and Simon out of the way, but Maxine and has her goons grab the masks, just as the police show up and tell her goons to each put one on and take on the cops. Janine, still with the vampire mask, just having leaps into danger. That is where the issue ends. I'm digging this so far. I gotta say, Maxine Danger is definitely one of the best villains. There's nothing redeemable, no redeemable qualities. And the fact that she seems just like a typical CEO. Anyway, moving on though to our next book, we've got Venom number 21. Where we left off, Eddie Brock had gone to take care of Bedlam. Simply put, the title of the issue honestly sums it up perfectly. Pages 2 through 19, they fight. That's what happens. They fight. Eddie takes some hits, gets briefly eaten by Bedlam and spat back out, reforms himself, and they end up fighting inside Bedlam's mind. And then it becomes kind of a battle just a one-on-one in Eddie's mind. Bedlam takes on the form of Venom, but Eddie manages to take him down and reabsorbs that part of Venom. And in the real world, he now has a red and white suit, as well as 4 arms. That is where the issue ends. Okay, 4 arms was not something I was expecting. I mean, probably should have been from the cover, but still. I kind of thought that was the Golden Age symbiote. Whose name I can't remember. Flexo. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got Edge of Spiderverse number 3. Focusing on... We've got 2 stories, one focusing on Spider Smasher, the other one focusing on Spider-Boy. So first off, we've got Nobody Knows Who You Are featuring Spider-Boy. For those unfamiliar, Spider-Boy was introduced at the end of the Spider-Verse story. Apparently he had been consumed by Morlun, but no one remembers him. So he's doing his Spider Boy shtick in New York. Finds his stash. He has his bug pack, set of clothes, unstable molecule kicks that Reed Richards made for him, and a phone, but it's set only for emergency calls only. But he tries to find someone that can find that remembers him, starting at the feast shelter and figuring that perhaps Aunt May remembers him, but apparently not. But his locker is empty. Stickers, even the stickers he said there are gone. But his own spider sense goes off. A girl from the shelter is being chased by some of Mr. Negative's inner demons. So he goes to save her. She has a key. It appears to be for a safety deposit box. Spider-Boy defeats the inner demons, gets the key from the girl, and crushes it into a ball and tosses it in the sewer. And so, but we get Spider-Boy's name, Bailey Briggs. And Christina, the girl he saved, brings him along with her family at the feast shelter. So, Spider-Boy appears to be rebuilding his life. Next up, we've got Spider Smasher. So, for those unaware, Spider Smasher was is the sister of Miles Morales from the world where Miles was killed and his clone Salem took over. As time went on, she became the leader of resistance against Salem alongside Gank. When Miles and ships arrived on that Earth, they helped bring down Salem, and well, she really got herself an upgrade as Spider Smasher. But she gets a call from someone wanting to meet up on the roof. Gata Negra, Black Cat. As Spider Smasher, Billy deals with some high-tech criminals. Crew led by Bullseye. Cardiac ends up saving her and fixing the damage on the attack. Turns out that the crew led by Bullseye are actually working for Wilson Fisk. And so, Cardiac and Spider Smasher go to deal with Fisk, who's attempting to regain his girth. But it turns out that Fisk's men have taken a bunch of medicines that were needed for among other places, the clinic that Cardiac works at. Cardiac and Billy manage to save what they can, and Gata Negra's son is among those who needed the medication, or the medicines, so. But, the two, and apparently Gata Negra knew Miles. That is where the issue ends. I do enjoy the Spiderverse minis. Kind of surprised we get another one so soon, but anyways, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.